The next conjecture that we're going to determine whether it's true or false is number 5, angle E and angle F are right angles. Well, if we are considering what we can make a conclusion on, if angle E and angle F are both right angles, we might assume that therefore they are congruent. If they are both right angles, then they must both be congruent. If you thought maybe that they're both 90-degree angles, that is also correct. Now, sometimes the conjecture might not be true. And how do we show that it's not true? How do we show it's false? We provide something called a counterexample. And a counterexample is exactly what it sounds like. It's something that is provided as an example that shows the statement is false. So sometimes it's easy to find a counterexample and sometimes it's not, but a counterexample effectively shows that the conjecture is false. And sometimes you might see people with memes like the prove me wrong memes. For example, this one I found, I think it's on the bottom of your packet as well on another page. Milk is cereal sauce. So on the bottom of that, it says change my mind, which means for this guy, he's saying provide me a counterexample to show that the statement is false. So he's so confident that milk is cereal sauce that he's saying you have to provide a counterexample to change my mind, and he doesn't think that that's likely. For me, I don't like milk on my cereal, so I would consider milk not cereal sauce and maybe provide a counterexample by saying that milk is used to make ice cream, and so that would prove that statement false, therefore that is a counterexample. So going back to our notes, for the initial statement, it's going to sound like it's true, this geometric relationship, and the example is asking us to provide a counterexample to show that actually that conjecture is false. If AB is congruent to BC, then B is the midpoint of AC. I know for me, the first thing that comes to mind is putting B in the middle of segment AC. But what if we had segment AC and we had B up atop here, and B wasn't really on AC? It never said that it had to be. Let me erase that. That C is a little bit messy. So let's say we had C here, A on top, and then B. And we say that AB is congruent. So think of a triangle. AB is congruent to BC. The conclusion is that B is therefore the midpoint of AC. And we can see that this picture is the counterexample to that statement. Okay, on the next one, it says determine whether each conjecture is true or false. Give a counterexample for any false conjectures. If points A, B, and C are collinear, so this is saying A, B, and C are collinear, then AB plus BC equals AC. So it initially leads you to think, oh, A, B, and C have to be collinear, just means it has to be in a line. You might want to put it in alphabetical order, but is there a way we can arrange it so that we can prove this statement is false? And sure, what if instead of B being in the middle, we put B on the side? So here, the statement of AB, a piece, plus BC, the whole thing, is equal to the other piece. That's not true. So we effectively provided a counterexample. This is our counterexample. So this statement is false. For number 2, if angle R and angle S are supplementary, then angle R and angle T are supplementary, then angle T and angle S are congruent. So the definition of supplementary is that they add up to 180 degrees. Well, if angle R and angle S add up to 180 degrees, and so does angle R and angle T add up to 180 degrees, our conclusion would be, therefore, that if they're both congruent to angle R is congruent to itself, that angle S and T must be congruent to each other for it to add up to 180 degrees. So this is a true statement. Okay, statement 3, if angle ABC and DBF are supplementary, the two angles must form a linear pair. So must ABC and DBF be on the same line, share the same straight angle? So A, B, C. And here it's saying DBF form a linear pair. Well, that's not necessarily true. We could have the vertex B be on a separate angle and say that DBF, these are supplementary, but they don't form a linear pair. Okay, so this is the counterexample. So this is false. And last, if DE is perpendicular to EF, then angle DEF is a right angle. What do you think? True or false? Go ahead and enter in your answer.